If you clicked on this video, chances are you're learning Japanese, or at least trying to learn Japanese. There are so many best and most efficient method videos out there that it's super easy to fall down the rabbit hole of watching and procrastinating instead of actually using the language. I fell down that rabbit hole for way too long myself. What finally accelerated my progress was consuming real native Japanese media and sentence mining the useful stuff into Anki. In this video, I will be putting that to the test with the visual novel, Tenioha featuring Mami. We all love tier lists nowadays, so I'll be ranking Tenioha based on 4 criteria. How engaging are the story and the characters? How does the soundtrack and the art contribute to the overall experience? Most importantly, how useful is the Japanese for learners like us? And finally, its overall ranking on the Weeb scale from dumpster fire to peak fiction. We'll keep spoilers to a minimum and mostly stick to early story beats. If this video does well, I'd love to make more rankings of visual novels, manga, anime, or whatever else, all from the perspective of a Japanese learner, and add them to the tier list. And with that said, hajime mashou. Tenioha follows 2 main characters, the protagonist, whose name you choose yourself, and his co-worker, Himekawa Mami. The story kicks off with the protag's daily struggles after moving out of his parents' home. He reflects on all the things he took for granted, like home-cooked meals, laundry, and chores. Now he's handling it all solo. He barely has time or energy to cook, so he grabs the same pre-made meal from the konbini every night. And yeah, he lives totally alone. And work is no better. He's in sales, mostly software, hardware, and client management. But he's bombing quotas and constantly getting yelled at by his boss. He tries reaching out proactively, but no matter what he does, he just can't close deals. One night, he drowns his stress at an outdoor bar, and his senpai, Himekawa Mami, spots him getting totally drunk, so she takes him to a nearby cafe to sober up. He opens up about feeling helpless at work. As the company's top saleswoman, she gives him solid advice. She tells him to research clients in advance, to tailor your pitch to their needs, and stop being so hard on yourself, since nobody's great right away, but with practice you'll see real improvements. Her encouragement is the total game changer. Over the next few days, he applies it and sees quick wins in sales, even surpassing his quota within only a few days. Thrilled about this, he thanks her and says that he owes her everything. She brushes it off and tells him that his successes are his own, but then seizes the moment to suggest a fancy dinner date as a way to thank her. Beyond that, well, that's where the NSFW elements kick in, so I'll leave it for you to discover when you play the game for yourself. Despite the game's short length, it really pulls you into the protag's journey, sharing in his lows and highs, and I found the story super engaging, and in some parts maybe even a little too relatable. Next up is the music. I can't play the actual tracks here because of copyright, but I picked a similar vibe for the video, so check the description for the game's trailer so you can hear the real thing. I found the music to be very warm and intimate overall. If you're like me, constantly pausing to sentence find new Japanese words as you see them, you'll be hearing a lot of the song, so it's good that it's something that's very soothing and relaxing. And at risk of sounding a little bit pretentious, it took on almost an ethereal quality in those slow nighttime scenes, where Himekawa is talking to you and showing concern for your drunken mess at the bar. And the art is very solid too. Himekawa gets a range of expressions to show her personality, from friendly smiles to teasing tongue outs to whatever you want to call this. And the backgrounds are detailed enough to make the city feel real and lived in, without stealing focus from the characters or the plot. Most importantly, let's talk about the actual Japanese in this game. I'll start with the positives and then move on to one negative. On the good side, the vocabulary and grammar repeat constantly, and that repetition is gold for long-term memory. I swear, I saw the word nagara a billion times. Mise nagara, nagara, Nomi nagara, you name it. Sales words like eigyō pop up nonstop, and gratitude phrases like kansha show up everywhere because of how the story plays out. By the way, you can find all of these words in the description if you want to copy-paste them. I also picked up some really useful set phrases and proverbs, like Mikara deta sabi, ikkoku ichijō no aruji, shiri ni shikareru, plus a few NSFW ones that I'll let you discover for yourself when you play the game. These are absolute gold mines for N3 learners, because they connect the real Japanese language to the cultural context to make it stick in your mind. Another big plus is the nice balance between formal keigo and casual Japanese. You get office keigo during the work scenes, then much more natural, relaxed speech on the dates, and obviously during the H scenes too. Now for the downside, and it's the only real one for learners. This game loves using very obscure or irregular kanji for everyday words, like in yorokobu, wakaru, tada, nomu, and tanoshimu. That kind of thing at N3 level can be really frustrating at first. It's sometimes useful because those kanji show up in compounds later, but yeah, it's a noticeable hurdle. That said, if you use a text hooker like Textractor for quick lookups, it becomes way more manageable. Finally, let's wrap up with the rating. Where does Tenioha stand on the Weeb scale? On a scale of dumpster fire to peak fiction, I place Tenioha firmly in Kino tier. Not perfect, but still a very great game for learning Japanese. I thoroughly enjoyed playing this game and using it to study Japanese. Great story, compelling character drama, the protag's troubles really hit close to home, and the way Himekawa supports him was heartening to see. We can all relate to job problems nowadays, but having someone like her would make it more bearable. Constant repetition of vocab and grammar makes it super useful for studying. It strikes a good balance between casual speech and keigo, and the clear voice lines are easy to replay for pronunciation and pitch practice. The only thing holding it back from peak fiction is those unusual kanji. Learning Japanese doesn't have to be endless Duolingo and flashcards. Tenioha shows how story-driven visual novels can sneak in vocab, proverbs, and casual speech skills, while still being actually addictive. I hope my amateur review convinced at least one fellow weeb that you can enjoy the grind to N1. What do you think? Worth adding to your study list? If I convinced you, consider sparing me a like and subscribe for the review. I want to keep making them, so suggest your favorite VNs, manga, or anime below. And with that, Jana.